Yo, what's up, guys? Jonathan here with Inside Out Freedom. If you are an entrepreneur, sales professional, or high achiever that wants to be able to create freedom from the inside out, find that peace, enjoy your life, enjoy your accomplishments while you're here, right? That being said, today's video, I want to give you guys something that can actually help you become aware of where you're at in your life. And if you want to improve it, some little things that you can do to improve it. It's a very simple, this is like a very basic kind of life coach, I guess, assessments. A lot of life coaches do this. This particular one I learned from BTI, Brave Thinking Institute. I used to work over there. I used to sell for them. And this is part of their process, but it's a really cool assessment. Tony Robbins does his own version of it, and any type of life coach will usually start you off just to get a good gauge of where you're at, right? And it's to find out like where you're at in life in different categories. And there's four main ones. I guess you may call one five. There's like two parts of one of them, but really there's four core ones that we focus on and want to get a gauge at. So the first one is health and wellness, right? And this can kind of be split into two because health and wellness, there's your physical health, like how do you feel about your physical health? Are you active? Are you eating clean? Are you sleeping well? Are you using a bunch of drugs and substances to escape, right? How would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10? And of course, whatever you put, like, why, what's kind of the reasoning behind that? Why'd you choose a 5 or a 4 or a 7 or wherever you're at? And then the other part of the health and wellness is your mental and emotional health. This is so important. You can be very physically healthy, right? Working out every day, getting up early, getting good sleep, all that stuff. But if you're mentally or emotionally like holding stuff down or just frustrated, get angry really easily, all that type of stuff, then there's things to look at, right? Where would you rate yourself 1 to 10 on the mental and emotional health kind of category here? Yeah, go ahead, take some time to write it down and just, you can pause this and just ask like, okay, why did I choose this number? Right? And then the next piece here are your relationships. How are your relationships? Where did you rate them? 1 to 10, right? 10 being amazing, fulfilling, loving, deep, caring, and 1 being like, oh, we're super distant, not connected, or we hate each other and are fighting constantly. Right. And it's not just with like your spouse or your significant other, but it can also be a relationship with like your parents or your kids or your friends or your colleagues, like just relationships in general. And you can even categorize them differently if you want. Like some people are really, really close, have a 10 relationship with their spouse, but like a 2 or a 3 with their parents, right? Or their kids, right? Or vice versa. So go ahead and write that out and just kind of evaluate like, where am I at these, right? And then the next category here is vocation. And I love that they use the word vocation instead of just career because a vocation is deeper than a career. In my opinion, I think it's more about like your purpose, why you're here, you're doing what you're meant to be doing. It feels fulfilling for you versus a career. People can have careers and really good jobs. And I know a lot of people in, especially entrepreneurs, like they had really good jobs, like 6-figure incomes. Like I knew a guy that made like $300,000 a year working at a tech company that was either Meta or Google, one of those. His career was good, but he wasn't fulfilled. He ended up leaving and doing his own thing, opening up a restaurant or something like that. But it was more fulfilling. So, vocation, what it is that you not only do for work, but for your purpose. Are they aligned? And are you doing things that feel fulfilling and purposeful and meaningful for you? Like scale of 1 to 10, where would you put that at? And why? And then the last one here, really important, the one that seems everybody seems to chase, right, is time and money freedom. This is so big because it's like, yeah, how are you with time? How are you with money? Both are valuable assets. And you know, you want to have an abundance of both because it doesn't make sense to be making like millions of dollars if you have no time to do anything with it. I had a friend who was an investment banker. Right out of college, he went to become an investment banker, made really good money, bought all the toys, had all these things, but he couldn't use them because he was working like 80 hours a week. And then on his time off, he just wanted to rest. It's really important to see where would you rate yourself as far as time and money freedom go. The opposite's not that great either. Like you can have all the time. This was me for many years where I had all this time and I was like, what do I do? But I had no money. I'm like, I have all this time. Let me try to create something. Let me build something. Let me make some money. But I didn't have any money. So a bunch of time, but what did I do with it? You want to have the balance of both. Actually, you want to have the balance of, I mean, you want to not even just have balance, you just want to be tens in all of these, right? Your health, your relationships, your time and money freedom, or your wealth. And then, of course, your purpose and your vocation. And so just kind of look at what you've written in those and, oh, okay. And look at the ones that you've, like anything under like a seven, right? Or a six, like you really want to look at, see what we can do to improve that. A simple question you can ask yourself is like, hey, what would a 10 be for you in this department? Right? Like if it's a relationship, like, oh man, a 10 would be in a great relationship with my dream girl or dream guy, and they treat me really well and they love me deeply and they cherish me and I love them. That's awesome. Or I rekindle my relationship with my parents and, we had miscommunications and we forgave each other and we're talking again and whatever it may be, right? You can ask like, what's a 10 for you? Or even a five, if it's a five, like what's a six or a seven? And what can you do to improve it? How can you move it just 1 or 2 points up? So, for example, in the health, right? If you physically feel like you're not that healthy, if your body feels weak, or whatever, right? Like, okay, cool. You can just implement, okay, this month I'm going to walk 20 minutes a day. That's the only thing you're going to add in, right? Or maybe you'll add in, I'm going to drink a smoothie, a green smoothie, and have a 20-minute walk every day, right? For your mental health, it could be, I'm going to do a meditation for, 10 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, whatever it is. Find one that you like. I have some recommendations that I highly recommend that if you do them, will change your life. The Kyle Cease one is amazing. There's another one that's a Mind Valley one by Vision. That one's really good too. Right? Same thing with like relationships, discovering, like just taking the time to make an effort to connect with people or doing the inner work to clear whatever frustrations or challenges you have with them. Right. I always think that, our outer world is a reflection of our inner world. That's why this is called inside out freedom, is because we create freedom internally first and it's going to reflect outside. Okay. It's kind of like, imagine if you were watching a movie of your life and you're unhappy. It's like he's frowning and you're like going up to the screen and you're trying to draw a happy face on it with all the external things you're doing. It doesn't work, right? Like if you want to change things, you got to change the film in the projector. So just imagine your heart is the projector and the film is in here, and all you have to do is clear this, and everything externally will change. The same thing with your vocation, right? Like it's going inward to discover, who am I? What do I really want to do here? What's important for me? What do I value? And how can I serve others? Are some questions I would ask internally before, like, hey, because I used to just go like, oh, what job can I get that will pay me the most and I can do the least amount of work? And I realized, wait, that's not really coming from my heart though. That's coming from, I need to make money and don't want to put in too much work unless it's something I really enjoy. And now I'm coming from a place of, I don't put money first. I put, what does my heart and soul want to do? I encourage and recommend you do that as well. It's kind of like, those are all attached to everything's attached, right? They're all connected. And I think if you work on the internal, the time and the money, all of that stuff, the abundance, all that stuff comes, right? Or is created by you. That's what I would suggest. Look at where you're at. And for the ones that are under like a 6 or even a 7, what would it be for a 10? And then what could you do just this month? And just focus on one or two things. I'm just going to walk an extra 20 minutes this month. And then you come back the next month and you evaluate, like, did it go up? Do you feel better? Because what people don't realize is once you start doing something, you start to build momentum. It's like you start walking 20 minutes a day and then you do it for a week. And then the next week you're like, I could do 30 minutes, right? And I could add in some push-ups and some squats and some sit-ups, or I can add you know what? I might just go to the gym, right? Or you add a smoothie into your thing and you're like, oh, I prefer the smoothie, and you take out some unhealthy stuff, add more veggies and greens into your diet. So these things can add up, right? They can compound. And before you know it, you get a lot of momentum. And then it's like you go from like a 4 or 5 to a 6 or 7, and then an 8 and 9, and then, whatever it is to get you to a 10. So that's like the assessment for you. This is something you can do. I hope this was helpful. I am creating a community if you guys want to join. The link will be in the description below. I also offer services to help you clear out those invisible blocks, process through, get to the root cause of the emotional pains that are causing things, rewire your limiting beliefs, all that type of stuff. So if you're interested, join the community, and I hope to see you there. Bye.